Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and welcome to our CarTech how-to video on the 2024 Chevy Trax 1 RS. Today I'll be covering the driver's information and infotainment screens. I'll do a general overview, show you how to access information, and do a deep dive. Let's get started.
Today we're working with our friends at Mankato Motors Chevrolet in Mankato, Minnesota.
All right, so on the driver's information screen, we have mostly analog gauges on this particular trim level. If you go up to the 2RS, then you get a full digital driver's information screen. So on the far left, of course, we've got RPMs. We've got your auto stop feature. It'll show you whether that's on or off. And then you got your fuel gauge. In the middle, you've got your digital information that you can select from, and you can reset things. And then over on the far right, of course, you've got your analog speedometer and engine temp gauge, as well as your cruise control. And then above the center, then you've got some dummy lights. You've got your lane keeping assist that shows on there, and of course, a seatbelt sign. Now, to control the information in the middle, you're actually going to use the stalk that's on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. So on that, there is a select button. Then there is a go up or down, so you rotate this piece. And then if you want to select something, you're going to click at the end. So to start with, right now, I'm going to go hit the select button, and we're going to go to trip. All right, so under trip information here, I've got fuel range. And you notice on the far right, there's a white line. I'm just going to go to the top of that using this select rotary knob here. So you got average vehicle speed. And you want to reset that, you're going to push and hold. And there it resets. Okay, and if anytime you want to reset, it's going to work the same way. It's a push and hold on this end button. You got your digital speedometer here. You got trip 1. Trip 2, fuel range, instant fuel economy, average fuel economy, average vehicle speed, and then we're back to the digital speedometer. If I press the select button, we're going to go over here to vehicle, and I'm just going to rotate up so we start at the top. You got remaining oil life, and again, push and hold to reset. On any of these, they give you that bottom, that option at the bottom. Air filter life. Now here we get some options. So if I click this button, I can reset, disable, or exit. Okay, I'm going to rotate down 1. Tire pressure, following distance, and that will only show when you're actually moving. Traction stability, and again, if you click here, you're going to have traction off, traction on, and then under stability, if I click here again, you can have stability off or stability on or exit. All right, and then I'm going to rotate down 1 more, and I'll get to an exit, and I'll click. There we go. Now I'm going to rotate down 1 more screen, and that gets us to our units. So if I click right here, I can select between US or metric, and I just would click this button here to change it, just like it did. Now I'm going to change it back to US. All right, and now that is the end of the driver's information screen. That is all the information you can manipulate. I will show you one other thing. On the steering wheel, on the left-hand side, you have your collision mitigation. So right there, if I click the button, you get your alert. You can, every time you click it, you get 1 less line between the cars. So that's less time before you actually crash, and that's a lot more time before you crash. So you can adjust that right on that button on the steering wheel. All right, so next we're going to move over to the infotainment screen. All right, so on the infotainment screen, the first thing I'm going to do here is show you how to hook up Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And so to do that, you're just going to take your iPhone and turn it on and go to the Bluetooth settings, then go down to Bluetooth, make sure it's turned on, scroll to the bottom of the list of things that you have connected via Bluetooth. Now, go over here on the car, and you can just click Apple CarPlay, click Connect to Phone, okay, add a new phone, and now my Chevrolet has shown up at the bottom of my phone because I already had it on and in that area, so I'm going to click my Chevrolet. It says, is this number the same as the one on your phone screen? On my phone screen, it asks me to hit pair if it is. So I'm going to hit pair there. I'm going to hit pair here. And on my phone, it says allow contacts and favorites to sync. Now, if this is your car, you'd want to click allow. I'm going to click don't allow since it's not my car. All right, and now I am connected. It gives me one last message on my phone. It says use CarPlay with my Chevrolet. I'm going to say use CarPlay and continue. All right, I'm going to shut my phone off. I no longer need to hold it, and this is Apple CarPlay. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you how to connect an Android. So if I take my home button, go to my home screen. On my Android, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to go to connections. And I'm going to go to Bluetooth. And I'm going to hit Android Auto. I'm going to say connect to phone. Add a new phone. On my Android, it says My Chevrolet under Bluetooth, so now it's pairing. Is that number the same? It is, so I'm hitting pair on both my phone and the screen. Okay, I'm going to hit this. It will end my Apple CarPlay, but that's fine for now. I'm going to hit continue, and it says allow to access contacts. So I'm going to hit deny. If this was your Android, you want to say yes. There we go. All right, so we're going to go just to OK here, but you could click on Manage to set permissions for between the phone and the car. Okay, and there is how you hook up your phone to Android Auto. So if you want to find out all the things that you can do with Android Auto in this car and all the things you can do with Apple CarPlay in this car, we've created a whole separate video addressing those two issues. So you can click on the link above and go see that. All right, for now, I'm going to just click the home button here and go back to the car screen. Now it's a large surface area, but in this particular trim, the screen itself is an 8-inch screen. On 2RS, you get an 11-inch screen, so a little bit bigger screen there. You do have a physical volume you can turn, you got a physical home button, and you got a physical power button to turn it on or off. At the bottom, of course, you've got basic icons like shortcuts to different things. So for instance, that's the home button. You get two different screens in the home. You got this one here that shows your media and then your phone. And then if you press it again, you get just the apps. All right, in this particular screen, if I click on here, it does go to full screen. Okay, click on there, it goes to Android Auto and goes right to my phone part of Android Auto. So that is really nice. All right, let me swipe over here and let's get started with audio. So if I just click on audio, either spot, doesn't matter. Down here are my sources or inputs, and here is where I can see all of them. Okay, I'm gonna go back. We're going to stay on FM for a minute. To tune, you're just going to hit these little double arrows on the right and left. Okay, you can also go here and actually type in a number if you want. Here you can browse different channels here if you just want to see a bigger list of them. And then if you want a particular one, you just click on it. You want to make it a favorite, you can right from here just click on a star. You can also unclick it from a star, which I like. Not everyone allows you to do that from the same screen. Okay, now up here are all your favorites. So to set a favorite, what you're going to do is find a channel that you like and just click and hold. And there it is. This little arrow shows you that there are two screens of favorites. So you can go ahead and you can move over and then, set a favorite in an area that's not already been set. But you can certainly overwrite old ones. Now, to get to the sound, you're going to go right here. And under the equalizer here, you have got adjustment for your bass, your treble, and your mid-range. And then, of course, you have fade and balance. And you can just grab the arrow here and go, or you can use these arrows around here. Either way will work fine. Okay, and so that's the basics of FM. Now, AM is going to look exactly the same, which is fantastic. So it runs exactly the same way. Sirius XM is also going to look the same way. So I do like how in modern cars they set up AM, FM, and Sirius XM to basically look identical, so you can the same skills you use to tune and save a favorite and check on your sound are all in the same place and done the same way. All right, I'm going to hit that. Now, I could go to phone there. I'm going to click on it here. Okay, you've seen this before, but here are my favorites, keypad, anything recent, contacts, or the different phones that are set. Now, the Android currently is set to outgoing and incoming calls, and my phone is only set to incoming calls. So if I hit the edit button, I can decide if I want my iPhone to be the first to connect or my Android. Okay. Secondary phone, allow Bluetooth connection alongside paired phone. That's I've done that already. And then use Apple CarPlay when the phone is connected. And that is for my iPhone. I can disconnect the phone and I can forget it. All right. Now, down here under Home, if I go to Wi-Fi, this does have a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot. You can set that up in this screen here. And then we've already seen Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. And again, we have another video on all the details within those two apps on the video if you click the link above. And then we have OnStar services, which come free with the vehicle for a while. And then you would have to pay a monthly bill. Okay. So let's go back here and let's talk about settings, because there's quite a few things in here. Now at the top, you've got System, you've got Apps, and then you have Vehicle. So let's start with System. This is the place where you're going to change your time and date. Okay, so you can make all those settings right there. Typically, you could just click on the clock and it takes you right to that same page. This is where you can change the languages. Just simply click on the one that you want. This is where you're going to adjust the phones and what they're doing. We already showed you that, so we're going to go back here. This is where you can connect it to an external Wi-Fi network. You can manage the vehicle Wi-Fi hotspot. Under privacy here, you can turn location services on or off. All right. Under display, you can turn this to auto. So during the day, the screen's a little brighter. During night, it's a little darker, and it sets it automatically. You can set it to always brighter or always darker. I always like that in auto. You can turn the display off completely if you don't want any light in the car. Now, everything continues to function if you've got media playing, but you just tap it to bring it back. Now, under sounds here, as opposed to the stereo, you have a maximum startup value. You have a maximum startup volume. Now, what this means is when I start my car, the radio will be quiet. Where it was set before, I'd start up the car and the radio would instantly be on with the volume on. So you can adjust that as to how you want it. And they put a little chime in there to help you hear what it's going to be like. You've heard that little clicking when I touch the screen. You can turn that off right here. Now, favorites. You remember in FM radio and AM radio, we had 2 pages of favorites. So I can set the number of audio favorites from right here. It's auto. So basically it's going to continue. If you fill up the 2 rows, it'll automatically start a third. And then you'll have the 3 little dots up here. But you can also go through here and say, well, I want 40 right away. Okay, so that's where you can set that. Also, right here, you can manage the favorites. And what I like about this is that they allow you to move them. So, for instance, I can take highway here, wait till it shows up in blue, and I can drag that to the top. I can also change the name. Yeah, just, go backwards and then retype it in if I want to rename it. And then I can delete it and you actually completely get rid of it. Now, that's an audio. Under phone, there's nothing available because I haven't set anything yet. And under navigation, I haven't said anything yet either. But all of those favorites, you have them set in there. They'll show up here and you can manage them the same way that you did these. Okay, updates. Now, it'll check for updates, and basically what it'll do, it has over-the-air updates. So what that means is it will download any update while you're driving around. However, it will not actually update the car until the car's in park, and so that typically will happen maybe while you're at a gas station or something. But the car does need to be on. Doesn't need to be running necessarily, but the screen needs to be on, so you need to be in accessory mode. But basically, you just need to understand that it'll download, but not update while you're driving. It updates, installs the updates while the car is in park. All right. Preferences. You can turn that feature off completely if you don't want to download updates in the background. And then you can go here and get if you want the technical stuff on the infotainment stuff, you can look right here. Okay, let's take a look at apps. So you have these four: Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can turn those off if you want. And then under audio, then you get your tone settings, your auto volume. You can manage favorites, set number of audio favorites. You can go in here and say, I want the radio data system. So the name of the artist and that kind of stuff will scroll through your screen, or off. You want the explicit content filter to be on, you can do that as well. You can manage devices and reset the music index, and that's all just for audio. Under phone, you get a whole bunch of other ones. You can look at your number, and under this one, if you turn it on, it's going to show up on your screen when you get an active call. If you turn that off, you're not going to get a notification you're getting a phone call. Okay, so these are just places that you can make some specific adjustments for audio and phone, and then you can turn Android Auto or Apple CarPlay on or off. Under vehicle. All right, so we've got the rear seat reminder here. That's nice to have. It's a simple on or off, but if you've got something in the back seat and you get out of the car and that's turned on, it's just going to remind you to check the back seat. Collision and detection systems. Well, this does have 4 collision system and front pedestrian detection, and underneath these you can make settings. So under forward collision, you can have it just off, alert only, or alert and brake. Definitely suggest you leave it on alert and brake. Front pedestrian detection, okay? Off, alert, alert, and brake. Okay? And if you ever get confused, you can always read the description right there. Comfort and convenience. Well, chime volume. If your door's open, headlamps are on, how loud is that volume? Well, this is as low as it goes. You can't make it any lower, so it's going to chime it. You can't turn it off. But you can, that's as loud as you can make it. All right, so that's the chime volume. You can also have it do an auto wipe when you put it in reverse in the rear window. You just click that there, and that's, or right now it's set to off, but okay. Lighting, vehicle locator lights. That's when you hit your unlock or lock on your remote fob, and your indicators will flash at you, or headlights will flash. Okay, you can turn that feature off, and then when you unlock it, none of those lights go off. But that's nice to help you find your car in the parking lot or at night. When you get out and turn off the car and you're walking up somewhere, it'll leave the exterior lamps on for up to 120 seconds, just so you have a little light getting to the door, or you can turn that feature completely off. Power door locks. Open door anti-lockout. So that's gonna, if that's turned on, it's just gonna help you, if you accidentally left the keys in the car, whatever, it's not gonna allow you to lock the doors. Under auto unlock, you can say, do I want that feature off? When I hit the unlock button, do I want all doors to open or just the driver's door? Okay. All right. Remote lock, unlock, and start. Bunch of different things you can do in here. So under remote lock, unlock light feedback, do you want it to flash the lights when you hit that remote? Okay. Remote lock feedback. So this is when you lock the car with the remote. Do you want the lights and horn to sound? Do you want the lights only, horn only, or off? Remote door unlock. Do you want it to be all doors or just the driver door? and then remote start auto heated seats. Now, if you turn that on and you remote start the vehicle, if it senses the outdoor temperature is cold enough, it's going to turn on the heated seats for you. If you leave that off, it'll start the car, but it won't turn on the heated seats. Nice feature to have. Now, under Teen Driver, you can, I won't go into this, but you can assign a key to certain features, like it limits the volume on the stereo. It makes sure that all the safety features are turned on. And you can have a geofence where you kind of set a parameter where the vehicle is allowed to go, and if it leaves that area, you're notified. You can also get a report on how the car's been driven with acceleration, braking, and all that kind of stuff, which is a cool thing if you have a teen driver. All right, so that's all three of these things, okay? So let's go back home for a minute, and let's go here. All right, so this looks like a navigation button, and it's not. This doesn't have navigation, but you have OnStar, and you know, through your subscription, you can call and ask for directions to places, but I always think it's easier just to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which again, we have a full video on how those look on this screen and what all they do. Okay, well, that is it for the driver's information screen and the infotainment screen on the 2024 Chevy Trax. And again, this is the 1RS trim level. We hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.